bad news. This could be your home, nigga. Yeah. Who gonna get on his ass real quick one time? 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like torch, even low on this dog, so they the heart. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Pumper boy. Took a shot, watch the door. Matter of fact, like a door. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang-Chi. Put them out of service, keep them tools like it's all free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm heading straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them U.P.K rules. I'm making this like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this dog, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fart. They ain't locking with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Did them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Can't do with the steps, but niggas been down since day one. We run up the band, speech like Thailand. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they pray that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made it go. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Shalom, 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 Israel. Welcome to another breakdown, you understand? Hosted by Captain of 13,000, I.S.U.P.K, Banyamian. Seeing? Officer of 1,000, Abadawan, Banyamian. And Officer of 50, Kayadwan, Banyamian. Seeing? And the breakdown is basically we breaking down the strongholds that holds back the children of Israel. You know what I mean? Today, which are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Today's episode 7. See? And we have an interesting show today. You understand? Shalom, sir. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatuh.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatuh.
Yeah, man. So we have, as Mida said a while ago, we have an interesting show today where the government of Jamaica is looking to partner with a private entity to open a prison. You understand? And I think that is some serious piece of information for the Benjamites here in Jamaica. You understand? Sir, what do you have to say about that?
Well, you know, one part of the curses.
Right.
That is definitely part of the curses. But you know, there are some hidden, there are some unanswered questions. Well, even if those questions are answered, still don't make it acceptable for them to be in a private prison.
Right.
Because you know, private investors invest their money to make profit. How you make money off a prison? For instance, in the state, they make money 2 ways off of the private prison. One, those prisons are traded on the stock exchange. And two, the state paid these investors to keep a prisoner. What is sense in what is sense in that? How will it benefit the country to be paying some foreigners to keep our prisoners?
Right. You know what I mean?
You know,
So basically, so basically that would be, you know what I mean, counterproductive, which means that, you know what I mean, some return on the investment would have to be granted. You know what I mean? And Salakia, sir, we have another story. We have the story about the firefighter who went on top of the transport center in Alpha Tree protesting. We also have that. You know what I mean? So without further ado, what we are going to do, sir, we're going to jump in at the article and kick it off right away. You know what I mean? And just to tell the people, you know what I mean, remember to subscribe. You understand? Go over to the Breakdown, a YouTube channel. Subscribe. You know what I mean? For the latest of what is happening that affects the children of Israel here in Jamaica. You understand? Yeah, man. Remember to share. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comments as well. So we're gonna jump to about the private prison, and then we're gonna break it down.
right.
Can. So this is a nationwide radio jm.com article, and it says due diligence needed ahead of any prison build under public-private partnership lobbyists. It continues. The government is being warned it must take detailed notes about the operation of private prisons in other jurisdictions before it engage any public-private partnership to construct similar facilities in Jamaica. The warning is coming from human rights lobbyists. More in the report from Shalai Smiley. All right, so it basically I tell you, say, you know what I mean, the government must take notes of what is taking place in other jurisdictions. America being one of those jurisdictions, main one, right, sir?
Yeah, the main one with private prison.
Right. Another one, gun. All right, so at this point in the article, you have a tape. I'm gonna play it.
The government recently indicated that it had identified 300 acres of land in St. Catherine for a new purpose-built correctional facility via public-private partnership. That announcement has raised concern among the human rights lobby groups and other stakeholders. Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, says the government must assess how private prisons have functioned in other countries as it explores such a venture.
I think we have to be guided by what happens in other countries as well and the human rights issues that have been plaguing countries like the United States. And we have been seeing where they have been ending contracts. Canada, for example, started private prisons at one point and they ended it. So we have to be guided by the mistakes of other countries and look at the human rights implications, certainly. It is going to be done on the basis of profitability. And I think the moment you start looking at individuals on the unit of measurement of profit, then you start looking at them as commodities.
That view was endorsed by Chairman of the PSOJ's Standing Committee on National Security, Lieutenant Commander George Overton.
The fact that we are looking at a public-private partnership, and as it was correctly said that once private sector gets involved, there is profitability in the discussion. What is going to be essential to any public-private partnership in a penal institution is going to be your terms and conditions of operation. You have to have clear service level agreements and deliverables on both sides of the fence.
Meanwhile, a board member of Stand Up for Jamaica, Horace Levy, believes that the majority of Jamaica's prisoners do not need to be housed in high security facilities.
The terrorists the human traffickers. That kind of person, you need a high security, small prison for them, for 300 or 400 of them that Jamaica may have. But for the majority, the several thousand, the 3,000 to 4,000 others, you need the kind of prison that we have at Cameron Farm.
On Tuesday, opposition leader Mark Golding accused the government of preparing to construct a prison for profit. The opposition leader said such a plan would be funded using taxpayers' money. He later withdrew the statement after fierce objection from the government. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
So look here. Let me continue reading. Unless you have some, if you have something to say, sir.
I think people are about to take over the government quick.
Right.
We're moving quick, man. All right, a couple of years ago, there was a talk about, I think it was Cameron who came to Jamaica, investing. It come with a package about investment.
Right.
House those people who they took from Jamaica under the Windrush Society back in the 50s, 60s, way back. Now, those people, they didn't give those people citizenship, and those people now have children, and those children didn't get citizenship as well. So when those children who were born in the States start to be incarcerated, once you're an illegal immigrant, and they are deemed illegal immigrant, though they did not migrate here. They were born there. Now this is how cruel the oppression system is. Can you believe? Can you believe is denying to be recognized where you were born? Not even when we had our system in Jerusalem, it wasn't so. That was why we ended up with calling our people Moabitists, calling our people, a Moabitish person or a Ammonitish person, because they were born in Israel, they were born over some. So they were recognized as being born over a certain country and having certain country cultures. Right?
Right.
But here we're in a system now where the oppressor denying these Windrush people the right of British citizenship. So when they run time in England, they are being deported to Jamaica.
Right, right.
Many of these people have never, ever, ever been to Jamaica. And
it's a lucky, sir.
Hold on. Two things about it. One, they have never been here, and two, they didn't become a criminal on account of here, Jamaica.
That me just say.
If they were born in UK and cannot if they can't get UK citizenship, then it means that they cannot get. Out here we say TRN, in America they say social security number. I don't know what they call it in England, the UK. But they can't have the rights to have a legal job. So they must become criminals.
Right.
So what is UK creating now? They are creating more slaves, because the prison system is nothing but slaves,
Right.
What do? It's only no, they don't really work prisoners in Jamaica, but in the States they still do it, and other countries. they still work prisoners, you know. And when I talk about work, well, out here when they work prisoners used to build roads and work on farms. In the States now, prisoners, you know, them sub out some of those work to prisoners for very cheap labor.
Good.
So they certain manufacturers, which of course is manufacturers who belong to the oppressor class. These are not former slaves who have managed to become successful in business, who are benefiting from this prison system. You might have one or two of them, but you know who the majority is benefiting from. And the US military, majority of the workers who build a lot of it, that is why the military can stand up so long and get so big, because cheap labor to build the boots, the military fatigue, probably not the guns, but who knows what and what they use the prisoners to build. All right. Out here now, what they want this, and our government is tightly about which private persons who is pushing this. You know, they need to put out more detail as to the angle. What a private man does approach Jamaica and say, "What? Let me build a prison for you." It's just that. I know they need a maximum security prison, because they need to move the one that is downtown here. That one needs to be removed. Obviously, probably maybe that's the one they want to put in St. Catherine. All right. So, but you know, to build a prison is a lot of money. So is it that the private man will come in and build the prison for you know, but you have to pay that man in order for him to make back his money, pay him to keep the prisoners.
Right.
Yeah. So just like the opposition says, prison for profit.
Good.
But all this is biblical, because it is part of the curses too. If we're looking Deuteronomy 28 and our 20 something, 23
and 23, cancer.
What's it?
Another one can. It says, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 23. And thy heaven that is above thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
Right. So, you know, it's only because of the curses why they can come and try to instigate about them go and build prison for us.
Right.
You must build prison. If you don't build, provide facilities for people to live, provide for people to provide the basic necessities of life, you will have prisoners.
Right.
So, you know, the prison has become an industry now. Correctional services for the state, you know. But now you want to privatize that.
Right.
So we are now for monetary gain as prisoners. But you know, all right, you know, the section in government here that build the roads, what they call them again? NWA.
It's a lot, yeah.
I know the
I refer to the ministry.
Yeah, man.
Ministry of Road and Work. Okay.
They call it again. National. What them name again?
Lucky, let me find it, sir.
Anyways, before they give it that name, they used to name PWD, Public Workers Department. When it was Public Workers Department, all the compounds of the Public Workers Department used to have jail over there. You know what the jail for? When a man get sentenced hardly, he used to go time out of time go build the road. Free labor.
Right. So like National Work Agency, sir.
NWA, same one. National Work Agency. But it used to be PWD, Public Workers Department.
Okay.
You know what they do? They knock down the prison cells, the jail cell that used to be over there and change the name. But it's one arm of the government which strive on forced labor.
Another one, yeah. And Slakia, sir, may have the article that, speaks about David Cameron, disguising this offer as economic assistance, trying to offer Jamaica, prison.
Right. That was 2015. This was the first. This was the first introduction of of the idea of a private prison.
Right.
And he was serious about it too. Read what the article said.
This is a Gleaner article. David Cameron come bearing gifts, making promises. The official visit of United Kingdom Prime Minister David Cameron has yielded promises of a share of economy as well as a new prison.
From the oppressor class now. So what? A prison for grow our economy.
So yeah.
Hotels shouldn't our government own some hotels that the country itself could benefit from tourism? All these hotels are owned by private individuals.
Right.
Shouldn't the government own some?
Right.
Couldn't they give the government some money to build some hotels? Why prisons?
Right.
Because their prisons over there in the UK have emptied the Caribbean nationals them out here. Because back then, the thing was this, if you're not sure of a man's identity, once you know him as a Caribbean national, and you're not sure which are the Caribbean country, you send him to Jamaica. That was how it used to be. Right? And you end up with a lot of people being deported to Jamaica who has never ever been to Jamaica. And yet still our government, being the lackeys that they are, took these deportees. Why you have to take them? What agreement you have with England that you have to take them?
Right. And Slakia, sir.
Hold on. At the same time, them boast about being a sovereign nation.
Right.
Rubbish. Yeah, you were saying?
if somebody from Jamaica have a police record, them can't make it to England or the United States. You know what I mean? So
exactly. So
exactly.
Why should their criminals, and these are not known Jamaican, them take the people them out here, while Jamaica was one of their colony.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I think the Greenrush was before independence. So all them things that just show that, you know, independence is nothing but a sham.
Right.
The biggest scam, and then now they want to lock up the man in the street for scamming, which are the biggest scam come from them.
Okay.
All right, read on.
And there's more, sir. Yeah. Can one can. The country also stand to benefit from a US 9 billion injection in the region by the UK over the next 5 years to finance climate change projects.
So how comes we know here? That is from what?
2015. 2015.
Right, the next 5 years will lead up to now, 2022. So how come we know here now start and no like the $2 billion investment?
Right.
A fool and take off, man. Europe
Right.
is in financial trouble. See the money had in Africa. France can't maintain them again. France have just decided, oh yeah, we're not the pound of one. I cut ties and leave. And guess who is scooping in to France is creating behind in Africa? Yes.
Russia and China.
Russia, man. I think so much China. The Russians.
Right.
The Russians are filling the gap for those. They leave about 5 countries the other day. 5 French-speaking Africans. And Russia just scoop in.
Right. So like yeah, sir. We have a video of them discussing, you know what I mean, this shaky, you know what I mean, agreement by our government and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we have a play inside, you know what I mean, I make the people them hear what I want. Like yeah.
Private partnership next to maximum. And I went on to say that from you have a public-private partnership, necessarily the private investors are going to require a return on their investment, which is the profit of which I'm speaking. That's what I said. And Speaker, in the US,
and I do loathe doing this in the presentation of the leader of the opposition. But I believe that the point that the leader of the opposition raised to suggest that the government is going to build a prison for profit, which are the words he uttered, is dangerous and misleading and ought to be corrected immediately. The government has never contemplated that. It has never been thought of. It is in no policy of the government. And for the leader of the opposition to say that without evidence, without quoting a document, it is dangerous and misleading and has to be dealt with immediately. And I urge the leader of the opposition, as I know he's gentleman enough, to withdraw that statement.
Madam Speaker, what we have been told is that this prison is going to be built as a public-private partnership. That's what we've been told. We have never had, the Minister of State, it has been reported and in the media. A public-private partnership. That has been stated publicly by the Minister of State who has responsibility for prisons. My point is, if it's a public-private partnership, that suggests that the private partner is going to be looking to make a return on it. That is why I said what I said. Madam Speaker, more information and more transparency around what is intended would be welcome, because the way in which it has been brought across so far raises concerns. It's as simple as that. I will move on, Madam.
So like you, sir, the Prime Minister didn't sound too confident a while ago.
I'm not hearing you.
I said the Prime Minister, when he was trying to rebut what, you know what I mean, the opposition was saying, he never sound too confident. You know what I mean? It's like you.
Yeah, because the one thing is that there was supposed to be no profit entity.
Right.
If I mention the word private sector, no private sector never come to Jamaica say it must spend the money to help Jamaica. I'm not looking to make back some money. None. As rich as China be, China look to come to Jamaica and make some money. As rich as the West was, right? They make so much money out of slavery, and what happened now? They get broke. Bank collapse. So much bank collapse in America recent. Government have to bail them out. Economy in problem. Well, a Europe economy in trouble, you know?
Right. Gone.
They're trying to use this war as if it's the war that is causing the problem. But the whole of Europe is in trouble.
Right.
America is in trouble, money-wise.
And
maybe that prison is to secure some workers for the next plan, you know?
Right. And Salakia, sir, if I may, this is a serious concern because we know that there's a situation in the United States where there is a prison industrial complex, you understand, where black people amount for what 13 or 14% of the population in the United States, but amounts to like about 80% of the prison population. You understand? We have a video as well where we discuss, you know, I mean, the same profit prisons in the United States and the situation and who get paid when somebody goes to prison. You understand? We'll play that right now, sir. And to the people I'm watching, remember, subscribe, like, share. If you have a question or a comment, just leave it in the chat. This is the breakdown, you know what I mean, on the breakdown channel where we break down the strongholds that hold down the children of Israel and Jamaica. You understand?
The second most powerful union in California is the correctional officers union. They give the most money next to the teachers union. And they have a prison industrial complex, for lack of a better term, that they support. And the correctional officers want to build more prisons. They want to warehouse more people because that enhances their power and their ability. They want more members, and you got to have people. To take Joe's expression,
you put it in a jail cell instead of grain silo. There's a lot of money here. 1996, I was running grand jury in Shelby County, and they had to check out all books and account things. And they had this thing about privatization. So there was the phone system, and what was going on is the scheme that the county commission came up with is $1 up front, 6% of your net. Well, I was astonished when I discovered that the net profit for the phone system was $94 million. And you're going like, this guy doesn't even have an office. He's got 3 part-time secretaries who collect checks from phone companies when they bill their customers. Look, that's too much.
The vendors at the jails. The vendors at the jails are making a fortune.
29 people make money in the system every time someone is arrested. That's 29 people along the line. And then you talk about privatization of prisons. We can go right as soon as this show's over. Anybody can get on the stock exchange and invest money. And this is what's diabolical. Literally invest money in a corporation whose profit motive is locking up more people. So we can
That's what the private prison is all about. Making money of locking up people.
Right.
Yeah. It's like debt collectors, you know. What do you think debt collectors make money from?
From lending out, giving out loans.
No man, debt collectors.
So like debt collectors. Oh, yeah. And delinquency and loan.
Yeah. You became delinquent because you can't get to pay back the loan. You is who him want to make some money off. You already broke and compromise, you know. That's why you don't pay back the money. But here him come scooping in now just like a crow to come and make some money off you who is now suffering.
Right.
That is your oppressor. Your oppression, your suffering is what they makes their money off.
Right.
It pays them to see you in pain. No prisoner is an happy prisoner.
That's right.
Right. So when you now start to have prison being private, it simply means that the government is going to know that what I understand a lot of them do in America, them pay the cops to incarcerate people, you know.
Gone.
Yeah. To incarcerate. And of course, the cops not going, cops knowing that the cops already, the police system in there is already white dominated. Even in the black communities, it's white dominated. So who getting incarcerated? Not the whites, the blacks.
Right.
And this mass incarceration that they use in America is also a way, is a deploy against voting rights, you know. Good. Yeah, you make the voters in America have no rights if they have been to prison. So once you are ex-con,
right,
you have no voting rights. So especially in the black majority country, in states, these states are being black majority, but you cannot see this blackness being reflected in the vote. Because what they do, they over police the black communities in these states. Over as a slip, police find you. There is the police.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to slip because when you check it out, a lot of blacks go to prison unlawfully.
That's right.
Meaning they didn't commit the crime. Police just so and a lot of the crimes you know for them get incarcerated for what has been committed by whites.
Right.
But once it's crime, no sir, it couldn't be a white man do it. It must be a black man. So they just find a black man in the vicinity and incarcerated.
And if I may, sir, see, it ties into the whole prison industrial complex. You know what I mean? You're going to need the commodity, and the commodity is prisoners. So, of course, you're going to find black people that get locked up for something with them don't do, because that is the industry, the prison industrial complex. You understand? And Salakia, your point also is a good segue into our next article, which says, Black Americans are incarcerated at nearly 5 times the rate of whites. New report on state prison fines.
Yeah, then there's a new report because maybe blacks are not realizing. A long time something.
Right.
These things, from ever since in the 60s when they start talking about civil rights, you know, the blacks in America want the equal rights with the white man. And they realize that, you know, the system have to change. That's how they come to the Jim Crow line. That's what the Jim Crow line was all about, you know, down in the South, you know. You have the law that says blacks and white can go to the same school. Yeah, but when you're going to the school, what happens? Everybody in that school hate your guts.
Right.
So it don't even make sense to go there.
Right.
Every teacher who teach you don't like you.
Right.
What sense that make? You're going lunchtime when you go canteen, you one at the next. Nobody in there not further.
Right.
Schoolers can't strive that, can't live that way.
Right. Salakia, if I may, sir, we can thank Dr. Martin Luther King for the, you know what I mean, the what you call it now, the integrated schools. And Chris Rock himself tell you that he went to one of these schools and that he was bullied by white kids, you understand, and has been scared ever since. So, you know what I mean? Martin Luther King's dream.
Him have a double scar, being bullied and being the son of a slave. But that Martin Luther King dream even mash up a lot of the business.
Right.
There was an era in Jamaica where our local restaurants used to strive. You could have gone in a town like Maple and rent a place, open a restaurant, and you make money.
Right.
You're looking at a little town like Maple now. You have a KFC, Foreigner. You have a Burger King. Mothers locally, who knows? Them probably Foreigners, them own shares in the two. I don't know. Right? Which other one you have? You have Popeyes there, so you have Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars Pizza, 3 different pizza. Right? All these are competition with the local restaurants. You know?
Right.
Because you find that rather a man now go a local restaurant and spending money. You go one of these fast food places and spending money. And where those money go when you spend it? The money doesn't go back in the community, you know.
Yeah.
Right? When you have the local restaurant, you know, people used to have them tag drive and thing. They used to go in and you could have beg. You know, give donation towards so and so, we're doing so and so project in the community or whatever. And you could get it. You can't get you're not getting nothing from them fast food places. They're all about profit here. Thanks to Martin Luther King for those things. Yeah. All the money. Yeah.
Right.
With a competition too, even the jerk, they look at man with the jerk one.
Yeah. Gone. And Slakia, if I may, no, because we you know what I mean, we are being outcompeted by these, you know what I mean, these foreign restaurants and these businesses that are owned by other nations. Now our people fill up the prisons. You understand? Because there's not enough employment for our people. So them end up in a situation where them choose crime as, you know what I mean, as their solution. So them end up in a prison. And now our government think it is wise to partner with some private entity so that them can lock up more of our people and that this private entity can benefit from our imprisonment. So like yes, sir.
Hey, give me that scripture. Psalms. His words is as smooth as butter. Psalms 55 and 21.
Another one can. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21. And it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Right. So you see, this is how the oppressor come to you now with smooth words. It's an investment into the country.
Right.
But he's on a war part with you, trying to get rid of you out of the society, not even give citizenship in our country. So what he might come spend billions of dollars to invest you and him don't even want you to be a citizen in our country. Why? He love you? He don't love you. But just smooth words him giving him. Right? He's on a war part with you. Right? Incarcerate you. Sick the police on you like I don't know what. Right? And our government, is it because all of them, you know, them that are grassroots again. Many of them come up on the grassroots, but they manage to evolve out of the grassroots and believe now that they have reached. So what I don't know. A friend them are making it. Friend them are trying to make it now. A wrong set of people are not afraid of them. Stay there. Right? And our friends, some people, you see, when the people of Jamaica turn against them in a parliament, what do you think them people are doing? Them others go and leave them.
Right.
It's just like Carlos Hill with Cash Plus. Carlos Hill come out, you know. 3 white German man come out there with Carlos Hill, you know, behind the scene, you know, with $2 billion US. That is how I got it. No, they come out there with $1 billion US. Just when after them start speculate on the dollar and then make money, and then time comes for Cash Plus turn Crash Plus. They withdraw $3 billion and flew back to Germany.
Slovakia.
You know, you're gunfire about them again. I know me not with those cases, like them, whoever they have the money, the money they dead.
Right.
You're going to say something?
Oh, Slovakia. No, just to say that they got their return on their investment. You understand?
You come out here with $1 billion. Remember, you know, they spend a couple of years out here, you know. So they must eat, they must drink, they must live somewhere. They don't buy no property out here. If you say them own a house out here. I think they stayed at hotels. Yet still, when they were leaving, they leave with $3 billion. Well, maybe some of them money they have to call us too. But even if Carlos gets somewhat of that, Carlos not get that much out of that. Carlos was the one who had to face the court. Carlos the black man. These people's words are smooth as butter.
Right.
They are on a war party. You see, it's full time now. Our people try to stop. Just try to stop fixing this system, you know. Turn to Christ.
Right.
That's all they need to do. Turn to Christ. Right?
Slovakia, exactly right, sir.
Any man love this world, don't love the Father. We should draw that scripture now.
All right, sir. Remember, we have another story. We have another story also that ties into that scripture as well, sir. The one with the protester, firefighter.
All right. We can go. This alone with the time, though.
Go on. What you want me to do? You want me to just read? Go on, go on.
Some more reading, supposed to know? No,
Yeah,
man,
you have readings with you. Well, all right. We now have enough time for the other articles on the prisons, but we have one more story where we can cover.
The one about the firefighter, that is really just a mention still, you know.
Yeah, now I forgot into it.
No, there's no in-depth to go into.
Why no?
He's just
Right. Everybody by knows.
The slave masters.
Right.
And the worst thing,
learn.
None of the slaves now back him. Him one.
Right.
6 go and then get charged, and they say, and others they say, me. Better me suffer in silence and go on home. Because that's what they're really doing. They're suffering in silence.
Can. All right, so yes, sir. This is 1 John 2:15, and it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Exactly.
Verse 16. Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Right. All these things. What is the lust of the flesh, of the lust of the eyes, the pride of life? This is we know going to work to get what? A house and a car.
Right.
Is the scripture saying that you should not strive for better? That's not what it is saying. But this love we're talking about now, you know, is where you fall in love with these things so much that you have no time for the Father. You love these things and hate your people.
Right.
You hate your people to the point where you're going to sit in the House of Parliament and approve the oppressor come building prisons. Not to house the oppressors' children that are here, because a lot of them are Jamaica. You want them to say they're not commit no crime? They are so set. They are so set in life. They don't commit crimes. But as all of them have US visa, you know, if there's an hint of them, when they hint say, you know, maybe they commit a crime. So sorry. Don't live Jamaica.
Right.
No one
Canada one can, sir.
All right.
Slakia. Yeah, Slakia, sir. So to this, the last article now where we have a cover, this says militant firefighter list demands amid protests atop Halfway Tree Transport Center. All right, sir, what me I gonna do? You know what I mean? Instead of reading the article, we just have to play the video. Oh, that's all.
How long the video be again?
The video is 5 minutes. We can just close off after the video, seeing that, you know, and the video will tell, you know what I mean, get the full detail about this.
Okay.
Canada one can. And to everybody watching, remember, subscribe to the Breakdown channel on YouTube. Follow our pages, you understand? Like, share. You know what I mean? If you have a question or a comment, just leave it in the chat. All right?
I am here to highlight the poor treatment of firefighters. Our welfare issues are not being looked at. We never asked the government for a cent more. We have never pressured any government, whether this current government or any other government, on money. Yes? But there are worldly other issues which affect us. our safety, our health, mental and physical. We are saddled with a rigorous 7, 3, and 10 method in which firefighters are at the station every day of their working life unless they give us some kind of leave. You don't get days off. In other jurisdictions like Barbados, United States, England, firefighters work at different where they have a proper work-life balance. It is not so with the Jamaica Fire Brigade.
Okay, I see. Where are your fellow firefighters? Weren't they protesting with you?
The members of do any kind of all right, look at me. Most firefighters can't afford to lose their earnings.
You've been on suspension for a year or what?
Just a year. Or I did a protest schedule in terms of the gear. I did not protest me. I along with 600 members. So these are the conditions because some of the video also called me. One, the 6 members who are some of the finest, the best firefighters, return them forthwith to the duties. And the money is going down. So the public is not necessarily receiving any service or the money being paid out. Almost a year. That's one. 2, provide proper welfare issues. Psychological rise. We are an entity which we depend on our physical ability. Because if a person falls in a hole, wreckage, our physical dexterity is needed, and there is not one facility or gym in the Caribbean region that we become a better member to serve the public. Yes, and 2, we are asking the government and the management, Public Services Commission, NIA, other appropriate body, Public Service Account or Public Account Administration Committee. Yes, look at the inefficiencies within Britain. Along the Agapa corridor, and please don't leave us. Along the Agapa corridor, for almost 3 years, the China Harbor construction from Ijan. And up to date, it is not Ijan. Corridor, the other hero circle corridor. And we gave out letters. What to the socialist position.
That last protest that you did by yourself, what came of it? You have, how will your protest affect that?
And I really don't care. I am insanely in love with Jamaica. I am a nationalist. Yes, I must protect the children of I must protect the wives of our fellow firefighters. When we go to fires and caffeine and getting materials, get on the tunic and they must take it out to wash in the machine because the brigade don't provide the facility to clean those safety gears at the station. Then those residues, the family members of the firefighter are exposed to those kind of residues.
I see. Okay, and when is the court date, Leo?
No, I mean, I don't know in terms of what the what is about on them today. You understand?
Okay.
But it's coming up.
All right, understand. All right, Leo, talk.
All right, so you see, here I'm saying him is a nationalist. So basically, this is the spirit that we take on, and it's not new. This is the way we were from Jerusalem. That's why the most I say, don't love this world, man.
Right.
You can't fix it. Just cleave to Christ. So that him can save in these last days.
Right.
Right? Rather than standing out there waving flag. I mean, the same system take away your national, your identity. What you expect? They take away your identity. Then you are the people who are the descendants of those in the Bible. The Israelites in the Bible, that's you. They don't tell you that. They take away that away from you.
Right.
Why you think they won't take away some amenities, gym, whatever you want? Why you think they wouldn't want you those? And they just want you to work and die in silence, suffer in silence.
That's it.
Don't say nothing. I don't want you know. Don't want you know. Go in silence. You understand? That is the mentality they have against us. So him start talk now. If the first thing about tell them say, that's not the way you go about it. What is the prescribed way to go about it? One country in Europe, I don't know if it's UK or what, they want to ban protest. They were thinking of banning protests. You know, it's like parliamentarians don't remember that people vote them in there.
Seem to forget that as soon as them get power.
Yeah. It seems as if they think they are now thinking like the nobles. You know, the king's nobles. Their position is appointed by the king, you know. So as long as them doing their work, them staying in position.
Right.
They have been appointed by the king. Why I tell you, this is us, real Israelite, trying to fix the system. Read the scripture again. Love not the world.
I was saying he's finding out that he can't trust the oppressor. You understand? He's finding out that the oppressor do that.
And you know what the worst thing, you don't even know who is the oppressor.
Can. All right, so we're going to close off with this scripture. This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15, and it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father.
But at the same time, it's very scripture tell you for God so loved the world. Yeah. Well, that God love is the world of the Israelite. For Israel shall be saved. Then everlasting salvation. World the only protesters